I'm going really elegant. We're all getting Raising Cane's. We're all going to get a box combo. Nice side of coleslaw. Maybe get a fruit bowl. You guys can have a fruit bowl. For the guys that don't eat chicken fingers, you can have a Caesar salad. There you go. Everybody's going to get an extra piece of toast, and you get an extra dipping. But you only get 4 chicken fingers, though. So hope you're hungry. It's got to be fresh.
Stupid. It just hit me in the right spot, though.
Hello, friends. Welcome to a tradition unlike any other, the second annual Ride the Pine Master Special. I am your host, Sean Sprout. That is Cameron May, Adam Freeman. Kenny Hutton joins us again after a long hiatus on his Vegas trip, and we have a special guest joining us as well. Chris Hutton, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Honored to have you. We're going to talk, of course, if you got the hint from the intro, we're going to talk some Masters, and we're also going to just recap NCAA basketball. And Kenny, I know you're dying to talk some Wrestlemania. We're going to give you your minute to do that, man. So before we get to all of that, Cameron, how about you hit our socials real quick?
Yeah, you can find us on X at Pod Ride the Pine, on Instagram at Pod_Ride the Pine. Find us on TikTok at RTP-Kenny, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you can get your podcast. If you want to watch the video on YouTube, at Ride the Pine Podcast. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a review.
Are we ever going to get our TikTok replaced?
Are you going to volunteer? Our social media intern does not TikTok.
I don't know how to TikTok.
As Cameron's the youngest on the show, so as the youngest,
Right.
I think that he should be the one to TikTok.
Should be required.
I mean, we'll have to talk to the intern and really see what kind of money he'll need.
All right, so let's jump to the reason that Chris is here. Chris, the winner of our second annual Ride the Pine March Madness bracket, finished out with a UConn win, getting 45 correct picks. He did pick UConn, and I believe you had Purdue in the finals too. Technically, you won it on the Final Four, but whatever. But he a total of 139 points. Myself, I came in second with 123. And then we go a long way down the list. We had 9 people in our bracket. I think last year we had 11, so a little bit of a disappointing turnout. Down at the bottom, Kenny, you had 55. You were in 7th place.
I'm not here to talk about the past.
Yep. Speaking of the past, Cameron, you actually picked 2, and you only got 33 correct. It's impressive.
That's what happens when you don't watch basketball.
And I just want to point out that Sean did finish last, and I'm pretty sure that if Sean would have stuck with which famous alumni would beat up the other famous alumni, he probably would have beat us all. Yeah, in a cage match, of course. Would have probably beat us all. He had 11, and I'm pretty sure he only picked one half of the first round brackets.
I think he only picked, one bracket, right?
Oh, yeah, it was only one bracket. That's right. One bracket in the first round.
I'm pretty
he
sure
made 13 picks.
I had already projected it out, and I think it was San Diego State going all the way because Dolph Lundgren briefly went there. So I was like, all right, well, come on. He's better than the field.
The question becomes, though, is would you have stuck with the same person the entire time?
Yeah.
Or is it like a team thing? Okay.
No. I pulled up the alumni list and just picked whatever the most famous name was from the list. So like Steve Carell was on there at one point, and I think there were a couple senators from the really hoity-toity schools. Yeah.
Well, next year, that is your entire bracket, and we're going to see how it does. And we're going to also not fight, but we're going to discuss who that person should be so we can make sure that we're all on the same page.
That's fair.
So, Chris, congratulations for winning our bracket. We'll send a sticker to you in the mail at some point. Tony's still waiting on his. Chris, how did you make your picks this year?
I waited until 2 weeks before the tournament, honestly. And then I just watch all the conference championships and then just read. And then, there's always a couple upsets in there. So had to have some 11 seeds over some 6 seeds, but no chance I saw NC going that far.
I mean,
so it was just pure luck, right? Two weeks of watching and reading to a 4th grade level in order to figure out picks. That's all I did.
So you said
your luck got you pretty well in the Midwest, though. In the Midwest, you had one wrong matchup the entire bracket.
Yeah,
Wow.
that one carried me. But yeah, what was the top left one? Was that the
The
North,
South wasn't the greatest.
Yeah, the South was terrible.
South
But
was
yeah,
rough.
the Midwest carried me for sure.
My
Midwest
South
definitely
bracket looked like Sherman marched across it. It was ugly.
Speaking of Midwest, Chris, do you believe that Ohio was in the Midwest or no?
This is important. This is important, Chris.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh my God.
Oh,
All right, cut him off. He's done.
Well, we can't ever have a guest again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I don't understand. That's not even possible. All right, so let's go to the game. UConn wins their second straight championship, truly just dominating the entire NCAA tournament. They beat Purdue 75-60, even though Purdue had Zach Edey go for 30-something points. I believe he had a double-double in every single game of the tournament, which is pretty incredible. I mean, is UConn the next dynasty that we're seeing? Or would you consider him a dynasty now?
Assuming they hold on to their coach.
I don't think he's going anywhere. I'd be shocked.
The rumor is he was offered $11 million at Kentucky.
No, I don't think he leaves.
I hope not.
Hard to turn down double the pay.
I think UConn will pay for him.
I mean, then you're stuck in Kentucky if you go there.
Yeah, that's almost as bad as Ohio.
Let's talk about how bad Kentucky is because John Calipari left there to go to Arkansas.
Yes.
Wow.
Missouri's toilet.
He's one step closer to Kansas.
Oh.
Anyways, UConn I heard a stat today. I forget what show it was, the 6:00 show on ESPN. They said that the way that his roster was constructed, he had one returning player, I believe is what it was, that was in the starting lineup, and that person only averaged last year like 10 points or something. I think it was the tall center guy. I want to say it's Klingon, but I'm pretty sure that's not his name.
Nailed
But
it.
it's something like that. But in this day, to have a roster that turns over like that with transfers, with NIL, I would say back-to-back might constitute as a new dynasty in the NCAA.
Is it impressive or is it just part of the competitive landscape right now? Like, we can talk about Calipari all we want, but he would basically flip a roster every year. Like, look at somebody like Bill Self too. These blue blood programs can flip kids really quick. Mark Mitchell is transferring from Duke because he's been recruited over. Like, basketball has always been a unique circumstance because kids have always transferred, and it's gotten even worse now with NIL and the free buyouts, basically.
Real quick, I'm pretty sure you're referring to Donovan Klingon.
Yeah, I was close.
Okay. Felt like we needed to get that right.
There it was. I missed it by a letter. I think I put an O instead of an A.
Yes.
I believe you were talking about Star Trek. I think so.
I've never watched Star Trek, so that's a negative.
I think Sean
Let's not go down that path. Anything else on basketball that none of us really pay attention to?
No, I was watching WrestleMania.
I was too, so I'm not gonna lie on that one. And then the other big news.
I watched more of the women's championship than I did the men's. And in all honesty, I know it. I was rotating between that and the UFL, and I was just like, oh, I kind of want to see what's going on. And I hate the bitch who coaches South Carolina. I hope she loses. And then
hold on. So speaking of that, apparently she is a name that Kentucky is throwing around to take over Calipari's spot.
Oh, good God! Let's let it happen. I want to see that.
Oh my! It would be interesting. Like, I don't care. Like, the crossover doesn't matter to me. But I don't think her game. I don't think she's going to be able to teach layups and 3-pointers to a bunch of guys that are 6'11". It just doesn't work.
What'd you guys think of her speech afterwards when she was thanking Caitlin Clark?
It's probably the first classy thing she's ever done.
I actually thought it could have been off camera. Thought it was a little more self-serving than it needed to be.
It was almost like a smart-ass comment.
I mean,
Yeah,
she said a lot of things.
You're standing there with the national championship team and you're just
Right.
thanking somebody else. Like, makes sense.
The person you just beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, no one would have cared about the women's if it wasn't for
Exactly.
Caitlin Clark.
That's what I was
It's a
getting
good
ready to
point.
say too. Is that like the ratings was like 11 million people watched the Elite Eight game. It was like 12 or 13 million watched the Final Four, and then like 15 or 16 watched the national championship game. So like literally, it was increasing every single time, and every single time it was a new record for any sort of NCAA tournament game being watched, I believe.
Good for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Big ups to women's basketball. It usually doesn't capture my attention, but on that fateful Sunday, I sat down and watched it. So,
And their ticket was higher resale cost than the men's Final Four. I forgot about that. That was pretty crazy. It was like double the cost. Which is
I think that's what an athlete can do to it, though. Like, think of all these soccer games where Messi is maybe playing, and like, the values triple or quadruple. Or somebody tweeted out the Leafs playoff tickets today were like $2,100 Canadian. Like, that's stupid. So
it's only like $3 United States dollars. So.
That's not how that works.
It's not? Damn. Somebody check the math.
Joke.
Hey, let's go Leafs. Everyone go check out that healthy scratch that we recorded, 5-6 months ago, where I picked them to win Stanley Cup, and you all laughed at me.
No, that laughter still stands.
Right there in the middle, and he is shaking his head. That ain't happening.
Yeah. All right. The one that knows more about any of us combined is shaking his head. No, I'm going to say they're not going to win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I'm not trying to. I am trying to disagree, but we can save that for another time. Maybe soon, but not this year.
We'll bring you on for a healthy scratch episode if the two other guys on this podcast that run it will actually record one of those episodes. But
we probably should do one for the playoffs.
The
good news is we've got another month until playoffs start.
That
would make sense.
Earlier, Kenny mentioned WrestleMania, and I want to give Kenny his minute. So Kenny, let us all in on the wonders that was WrestleMania this past weekend.
It's still real to me, damn it.
It was fantastic. It had Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson returning in a match, and actually he wrestled really well. They went 45 minutes. I was really impressed. Roman Reigns has my work schedule when it comes to this podcast. I think it was his first match since January, and they went 45 minutes. Awesome. Drew McIntyre, who might be my favorite Twitter personality, beat Seth Rollins in the heavyweight championship, and then instantly gets cashed in on when CM Punk attacks him. And Cody Rhodes finally finishes his story and beats Roman Reigns to win the WWE Championship. It was an incredible match that included the likes of John Cena. I know it was hard to see him. The Rock and the freaking Undertaker. Like, it was just really cool. I had to watch it on Monday, though, because Peacock decided to take the stream down and then reload it, and it reloaded at like 11:30. I got one match in and couldn't watch it. Couldn't stay up that late. So, yeah, WrestleMania 40 was good. It was I enjoyed it. I know Adam watched it as well, so.
I did. I would say the 2-night experiment, which I think this is like the 4th or 5th one they've done 2 nights in a row. Like, I think that new setup is finally starting to click, where the first night is kind of, I don't want to say like hokey, but it kind of is. And then it has the one lead up match to Sunday and then leads into Sunday. And the new, I think technically his title is Chief Content Officer, but let's just call him the HNIC that he is. I mean, this dude is blowing it away, and by that I mean Triple H. Paul Levesque has absolutely changed the way that WWE is being produced in general. It definitely has more of an all-in feel versus just like what was basically Vince McMahon and the boys in the back of the locker room wanted. It got to a point where it was kind of, you could tell the script was there. And you could see what was going on. And I'm really interested. I saw last night that they're apparently coming out with like a behind the curtain thing about the entire story with The Rock, Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes. That'll be really interesting. Watching WrestleMania made me feel like I was 13 again. Like it brought me back to that time basically, and it hit everything. Like literally going from, you have The Rock, who easily the biggest wrestling star from when we were younger, and then you have John Cena come out, who kind of transitioned into our adult age, and then it hits back with The Undertaker. Like, I mean, it doesn't get much better. I thought they nailed it. 3 out of 5 stars.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I did find it funny that they said they were going to move away from sports entertainment, and it was nice to see WWE do some professional wrestling for those of us that really enjoy it. And I get it. It's, you know, polarizing. But they're incredible athletes, and doing what they do is insane. And to actually see it get done on that high of a level was awesome. You know, and I'm not a guy who really cares about WWE except for when the Royal Rumble starts in January and it up to right now culminating at WrestleMania. So, yeah, that was awesome. And then apparently my doppelganger made a guest appearance and jumped over the top rope.
Right? Yeah, it was impressive.
In Timberlands.
Andy, do you have the ability to do that?
Yeah, it was really impressive.
I would like to see it. I think we should put that onto our combine list. Kenny has to jump over the top rope. We'll figure out a way to do it.
In Timberlands.
I'll give it the old college
If Kenny
try,
ever
but
loses a challenge like Sean does, we'll have to make him do it.
Well, joke's on you. I'm still here, so no, he won't lose any
that
challenges.
is true. I don't lose when you
I will say this about wrestling. I know we like to give a lot of trash and have a lot of fun at Kenny's expense. I have never actually sat down and watched wrestling and not been entertained and not had fun watching it. And my ex is just completely taken over with Wrestlemania. I don't know how that got into the algorithm, but I'm not mad about it. It's highly entertaining. They are incredible athletes, and it's awesome to watch.
All right, so
so mark that down.
yeah,
Noted.
exactly.
Noted.
All right, let's jump to a tradition like any other. The Masters is this week. I mean, truthfully, probably one of the best weeks. You go from March Madness, and now I realize there's a lot of sports going on, but you go from March Madness into the Masters, and then you have Stanley Cup playoffs, and I believe the NBA playoffs are going on for those that watch. Probably the best time of year. Chris, let's start this topic off with you. You are reigning champion for March Madness. If you were going to have a Masters dinner like they're having tonight, and John Rahm is hosting and he gets to produce the menu, what's on your menu?
That's tough. I'd probably start with like a seared scallop and some sushi. You know, just keep it light on the stomach to start, and then I'd have to go to like a good size ribeye with some like fingerling potatoes with some like red peppers. And then, you know, any vegetable, asparagus, green beans, something like that. And then to finish it off, I would probably go just a standard cheesecake with some strawberries on it.
Solid.
I dig it.
I get down with that.
Sean, what do you got?
I have nothing prepared.
All right, so we're going home hungry. That's great.
McChickens for everybody.
Perfect.
He's going full Trump. He's chucking Big Macs out the window at people. Maybe some Dominoes in the corner. He'll just shoot the paper towels like in Puerto Rico, just right out to people. My meal we're gonna start off with appetizers. We're gonna go with some snow goose bacon wrapped poppers. I have actually had them, so we don't have a whole situation like Adam last year. Secondary option, some tuna sashimi. For entrees, we're gonna go for bone-in ribeye, balsamic Brussels sprouts, garlic mashed potatoes, or if you want fish, a smoked salmon, a little bit of lemon on there. Dessert, we're gonna go gooey butter cake with vanilla custard. Had to keep it somewhat local. Big part of hosting the dinner.
That's a veteran one. That was very, very impressive.
That is way better than yours from last year. You stepped your game up.
Yes, it was much better than the one last year.
That was a good meal. You would not complain if you got that meal.
If I had a green jacket on, I might have
in St. Charles.
What?
If we were at a barbecue in St. Charles, we wouldn't complain.
Correct.
You don't
Kenny?
think Augusta chefs could make a better pork steak than we can?
No, I don't.
No, they don't know what a pork steak is, or toasted ravioli.
Do you think they know what everything on John Rahm's menu is? I bet it's going to be great.
I don't know what it is.
You know they have to pay for their own chef, right?
Yeah, that's the crazy part about it.
Yeah,
Of course they do.
yeah.
It's the most Augusta thing ever.
Yeah.
Who wants
Kenny,
to go
what do you got?
You know what? I forgot to pick an appetizer, so we'll skip over that. I'm going table made side Caesar salads. We're gonna go with like a scalloped potato and a tomahawk ribeye because I've been following Nick Adams too much, so you got to have the steak. And then you know what? For dessert, I'm just gonna go with like a simple ice cream, like a chocolate ice cream. I don't know.
The first time Augusta National serves Prairie Farms.
No way. It's definitely Blue Bunny.
Oh yeah, we're
Sorry.
There no
Blue
sense.
Bell. Why
Yeah,
do you use Blue Bunny like that? Why
All
ain't some Ted Drews?
Oh, there you
I
go.
mean,
What
yeah, I
game?
guess I could get Ted Drews flown in. If I win the Masters,
I think you
This is
can swing
true.
it.
yeah.
Adam?
Guys, so I'm sitting in a room with Nick Faldo. I think Bernard Longer. Probably going to be with Gary Player. I'm not sure if he's allowed in there or not. Tiger's in there. Phil. I'm going really elegant. We're all getting Raisin Canes. We're all going to get a box combo. Nice side of coleslaw. Maybe get a fruit bowl. You guys can have a fruit bowl. For the guys that don't want to eat chicken fingers, you can have a Caesar salad. There you go. Everybody's going to get an extra piece of toast, and you get an extra dipping. But you only get 4 chicken fingers, though. So hope you're hungry. And for the love of God, if the chefs leave it in that plastic container and all of my food goes soft and it's soggy, I'm going to get so pissed at them. It's got to be crisp. It's got to be fresh.
It just hit me in the right spot, though.
You have to live within 5 minutes of a Raising Cane's because if you get it and you drive farther than 5 minutes, it's basically just eating like a wet towel.
It has to be piping hot to where it burns the living crap out of your mouth when you take a bite out of it. And then, of course, to wash it all down, we're going to have a nice Arnold Palmer with a sweet tea to represent a legend. So, yeah.
Of course, he played a
Enjoy.
lot of golf. Man's a drink mogul.
Can I make mine a John Daly?
It has to be an Arnold Palmer.
I mean, no airplane bottle. I mean, you got Raisin Canes. I can't go any trashier.
Cameron, did you get all of that? Do you want to recap everybody's?
I do. I have everyone except for Sean, who has decided not to participate today, which
That is
is
true.
something.
Go on.
So who do you guys got? Who's winning?
I think I'm taking Cameron. I think Cameron. Yeah, I think you have me this year, Cameron.
I'm glad I managed to beat you. I had a bad performance last year. It feels really good to come back out here. Got some more perspective in my life. It's very important.
I'm just going to say, when y'all's steaks aren't cooked the way they should be cooked, and you're looking at that like medium rare that is really or that medium rare steak that is really now going to be well done because they messed it up, my chicken fingers are going to be absolutely delicious.
They taste like styrofoam. I'm
Still
gonna get out in
better
front of
than
it.
well done steak.
Raisin Cane's chicken without the sauce tastes like styrofoam. Maybe it's because I live. Maybe it's because I live too far away from one, and it gets steamy and melts the styrofoam a little bit.
Yeah, you got to eat it.
That
You got to
could
eat
be
it
an
right out of
option.
directly out of the fryer is the only way to eat it.
Shout out to Raising Cane's. Please sponsor the show.
Yeah, that'd be great. Anyway, so let's go to the more important part. Guys, who's coming home with the winner of this one?
I mean, there's just so many options. I'm just gonna say the top 3 here. Starting at number 3 on the most likely. It just seems way too obvious. Scotty Scheffler, best player in the world, all of a sudden learned how to putt, so he's gonna win. If he doesn't win, it's gonna be Spieth. No one plays Augusta quite like Jordan Spieth does, and he is a heart attack to watch, and I love it. My
Nobody
actual
plays
pick.
any course quite like Jordan Spieth does.
Look, did you see him? What was it last week? Hidden on top of the clubhouse after
Off the
hitting out of a
cart path,
drainage
off the clubhouse.
Spieth is questionable.
And let's
That
not get
just
away
means
from the
he's
fact
finding it.
No,
that
to play in the
hole
tournament.
was in front of him, and he went 45 degrees to the left. Like, let's forget that part.
My number one
Sorry.
pick, Brooks Koepka.
Of course it is.
Well, who else? Major Brooks. He's back. Got everything off his back. Won the PGA last year. He's not played great this year on Live, but he didn't play great when he was on the PGA Tour, except for the majors. Give me Brooks. Lock it in.
Your 3 picks are in the top 6 odds getters right now. Scheffler's plus 400, Brooks is plus 1,800, and then you have Spieth down in 6 at plus 2,200.
Yeah, those are the picks. I didn't know we were picking long. Do you want a long shot?
I'm just saying. Yeah, I kind of want one long shot.
Give
Arnold
me.
Palmer.
That would be one hell of a long shot.
If I really have to go, give me Ludwig Odberg.
Oh, you just took mine.
If I have to pick a
That
long
was
shot,
mine too.
Damn.
God.
shouldn't let me go on first. I mean, if you want some people who definitely won't win, just 3 off the top of my head: Rory, Rahm, and Xander. Xander's never winning anything. Rory, he just can't do it. I don't think it's his year. He is striking the ball well. I don't think it's his year though. And Rahm, his interviews, he doesn't seem super
Happy?
committed. I don't. Yeah,
Happy is the word I would go with.
And,
he's having some buyer's remorse.
and Rory and John Rahm are 2nd and 3rd in the odds right now. Rory's sitting at plus 1,000. Rahm is 1,200.
Oh, yeah, there's your boldness that you wanted.
I like it.
Kenny, who you got?
So I like an Henri Brooks, and if that exchange with the reporter is true that we saw on Twitter, I'm going Brooks as my number 1. Mr. Personality of a Pancake, Scotty Scheffler. I think you got to include him. Cameron's right. He's the best golfer in the world. He just seems to win every tournament he plays in, or is at least a top 3 finish. And I like Hideki Matsuyama. Hideki has moved in the odds that I saw, but he was plus 2,800 when I was in Vegas, and I feel like I should have sprinkled a little money on him. So
I told you to.
I know.
He's striping the ball.
Chris, what
Long
about you?
shot.
Oh,
Long
sorry.
shot outside of Arnold Palmer. Tommy Fleetwood. I mean, I really want to see Tommy Fleetwood actually win something. Like, I think it would just bring joy to my heart. But he always gets my hopes up Thursday and Friday, and then Saturdays come around, and he plays like Rick Shields. So
I love the Hideki pick.
Yep.
Tommy Ladd was actually number 4 on my list of will not win.
That's pretty true.
I would
All right.
love for him to win. I just don't know.
I
if he
think
can do
that
it.
place would erupt if he won.
Easy to root for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure. Chris, who you got?
I think it's hard to bet against Scotty Scheffler. I mean, he can do everything. I mean, he just hits absolute bombs down the center of the fairway. His wedge game is just off the charts. And yeah, he used to putt like Edward Scissorhands, and now all of a sudden he's in the top 5 in putting. So it's hard to bet against him. I like Hideki a lot. I'd say if he doesn't win, I'd almost lock him in as a top 10. Koepka, but I like Rahm more. He's got something to prove to these guys from going to Live, that he can still play the game. My 3 that aren't going to win are Patrick Cantlay, Brian Harmon, and then all the talk this year is about Joaquin Niemann and how good he's playing. I don't think there is a chance he even comes close. It's hard with the Live guys because they play on resort courses. So when you get them on a course where you got to plot your way around and then make putts, I just don't think he can do it. Everybody took my long shot with Oberg, and I don't know if he's a long shot, but I would say Wyndham Clark. I know he's won a major, but it's his first Masters. And there's been 2 people ever in the history of the Masters at their first appearance that have won. So
Yeah, not since 1979, I think.
yeah. So my long shot is Wyndham Clark. I mean, he bombs it off the tee.
I like
That
pick.
course sets up for a big high cut that he plays. And then if he's putting like he has been all year, I think he'd be a tough out too.
Excellent pick. I like the Wyndham Clark. He was my outside shot. I was debating between him and Fleetwood, and I was like, Fleetwood's got longer odds. So
The Harmon pick to not win is interesting. Do you think that's because Brooks is going to strangle him?
Oh my God! The fact that those two are matched up the first 2 days are absolutely fantastic. Kudos to the tee time makers.
Brooks is going to do something to ensure that they get put on the clock within 3 holes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's going to go stand in the bathroom. He's going to change clothes every hole. He's doing something, and they're going to be put on the clock before hole 5.
Yeah.
He's going to pull a Rahm. He's going to eat 6 sandwiches on the front 9 and take 4 bathroom breaks.
I have that tee time bookmarked, and I'm pretty sure my calendar is blocked off for work for that one.
Adam, why
Sean,
do you have
gonna pick anybody?
meeting?
Yeah, I'll make some quick picks. I think the Scheffler, Scotty Scheffler, that makes too much sense. I like the John Rahm. I always have to give a shout out to Colin Morikawa, my favorite golfer. And I'll give you a long shot.
Was that real?
That was real. And my long shot, I guess more of an underdog. I'll say I think Tommy Fleetwood might actually put it together.
love the Fleetwood love that we have going on here. Morikawa was not a bad pick. He's been a little off this year. Bit of a bulky back situation going on, but I could see him winning.
What about Matt Fitzpatrick? I mean, he would be one of the guys I would consider a long shot, but he's playing really well. He's long off the tee, like a lot longer than he was before when he won his major last year. He'd be an interesting guy to see. I think you're going to have, more likely than not, somebody come from like Scheffler, Rahm, or Spieth. That would be the 3 that I would say, and you guys all kind of mentioned them already. Going last sucks. Scheffler's hot. He's probably, if his putter is average, he wins by 5 strokes. That's my assumption. If his putter is locked in like it has been, we're going to see a runaway like we did with Tiger. Victor Hovland is an interesting one. He's had a rough start.
Hove?
But he's starting to get his swing dialed in. Yeah, I mean, DJ is still out there. He knows how to win at the course. It's just a matter of, does he care?
Well, it depends if the Coke is free or not.
This is true. It doesn't matter if it's free or not with the amount of money that he's made. I'm sure it was into his contract with Lindy.
I mean, so I guess my thing is, like you mentioned, Fitzpatrick, he's long off the tee. I don't think Augusta you really need to be long off the tee. I think you got to be more precise with your irons because the greens are so challenging. Who are the best iron players right now on tour?
Scotty Scheffler.
Scotty. Rory.
Besides Mr. Pancake personality.
Well, here's a fun fact from Kyle Porter over at CBS. 10 of the last 12 Masters winners have been at 1.7 strokes gained tee to green 3 months leading into the Masters. The top 6 right now are Scotty, Xander, Hideki, Siwoo Kim, Rory, and Justin Thomas. They're the only ones at 1.7 or above.
Interesting. Nobody did mention JT.
Right.
There's no way JT wins.
No, now with a new caddy.
Yeah. I mean, you just don't dump Bones, who's one of the greatest caddies ever, and then just expect to pull some guy off the street and win at
But
Augusta
JT,
National.
he could
Happy
be the
Gilmore
one.
did it.
With Will Zalatoris, he's playing in the tournament though.
Right. JT would be the interesting. He could be one of those guys that's a long shot though. You literally have one of 2 of the greatest all-time master champions in your back pocket. That is going to help him tremendously. Like every little tidbit of information the Tiger knows is getting passed down to JT, and eventually it's going to click. Like even in his presser today, he said that part of his job as being, an elder statesman is passing down the information and not holding it all back in for the next generation. And you know who that information is going to? It's going directly to Justin Thomas. And
but
they
Tiger
also
could
are
pull
really good
off all
friends with
those
Fred
shots.
Couples. What?
Tiger could pull off all those shots.
True. And
Does JT have the shot shaping ability to do what is needed on every single hole?
I think
He
when
can
he's
shape
on,
the
he
ball.
can.
Oh, he can't. I'm not saying he can't.
Yeah.
I'm just saying when it comes to Tiger, when you watch Tiger and how he wins, he pars the holes that you're supposed to par. He
Right.
goes after the holes you're supposed to go after. But those holes you're supposed to go after, you have to miss them in the right spots. Is JT going to miss it short left, or is he going to try to play that big fade with a 5-wood and miss it long right, and then you're dead?
Right.
Yeah. So
And then he's
we've
screaming at the ball.
So
I also think. Go ahead.
No, Chris, go ahead. Finish your point.
When it comes to this year's Masters, too, I think you have to look at who can chip the ball the best, right? Because if you look at the weather forecast, Thursday they're calling for some rain, and it might get soft, but underneath those greens at Augusta, they have these big fans that can just pull the moisture right out of it. And then Saturday and Sunday, you're looking at high 70s, 80s, and sun. So that place is going to get baked out, and those greens are going to be glass. And holding those from some of the distances that they're going to have is going to be impossible. So who can get up and down from those tough areas, like 11? On Sunday, that middle front pin, you're not going to go at that over the water. You're going to have to leave it short right and chip it 30 yards. Like who's going to have the touch to be able to get up and down from those tight lies around the greens?
Or getting on 15 from the fairway, trying to cover the water, getting it to stick. I watched a video this morning, and I forget who the guy was. I think he was for Sky Sports, but he was using his the stimp meter where he rolled the ball down or whatever, and he said the spot that he rolled on typically rolls out somewhere around like 15 feet going downhill. It rolled out 35 feet. Like it just kept going and going. And then he did the exact same thing going the other way. It went 4 feet off of the end of the meter. Like it's going to be very interesting because that course looks like it is set up to be chaos.
Reports are it is as firm and as fast as it's been in 4 or 5 years, which is sign me the fuck up.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be awesome. I think this year could go down as one of the best in the past 10 to 15 years. Yeah, of course, Tiger winning in 19 is up there. But if you're talking just seeing good golf and seeing them struggle and having them to shot shape and make some incredible shots, the reason why they're pros, I think this is the year.
All right, one more thing before we get out of here. Just we have to talk about it. What do you expect out of Tiger? Make the cut, not make the cut, contend, be able to play all 4 rounds if he does make the cut? Where's the successful
withdrawal?
No.
I hate to hear
I'll
that.
I'll jump in. Well, he's going for that record of 26 straight cuts made, so I think he makes the cut and then might withdraw. But he's going to get that cut record. Is he going to contend? No, absolutely not. They said the mobility in his ankle is 0, and walking around Augusta National is no easy task, and he can't hold it up for 72 holes. But I think he makes a cut, but contending is completely far-fetched.
Yeah, I don't think he will. I would love to see it. Reports are that he is flushing the ball right now. Watched a little bit of him on the range, just cruising at 178 ball speed with his driver. Actually hitting a draw instead of that lazy looping fade that he's been doing. It gets me way too excited. I'm way too emotional about it. Yeah, I think he makes a cut.
I want to derail this for a moment. Go ahead.
Hold on. I got mine. Hold up. I'll say top 15.
Whoa.
Ooh, wow. I love that. I love it.
I think he does. Like, I think
we got a time machine over here.
I think it sets up for him though. Like he even said today, he wants that Florida weather. That's how he's going to last. And he wants to be in the humidity. And you have, like Chris said, you have the rain coming in Thursday that's going to level the playing field for a lot of people because they're not going to really figure out how to do it. Who's the one person that probably knows it better than anybody? Tiger. He'll be able to keep it close. Who knows what Friday brings? And I think he has the tee time set up to favor him to be able to get more rehab time in between. And then it gets hot and humid. And I hate the PGA. This is gonna sound bad because it's Tiger Woods ramming Tiger down our throats.
Easy.
But I think he gets top 15. I really do. And that doesn't mean that he's going to have to be in contention. It could be a runaway for whoever, and he could still be 10 strokes back. But I think top 15 is probably doable.
Okay.
All right. So I think we talked about this last year about breaking 100 at Augusta. So I'm going to derail this. So if anybody can't tell, my brother is actually a really good golfer.
How would we be able to tell that?
Well,
His hat.
the way he talks about the game, but also I'm going to tell you right here, currently in Gin, he sits at a 3.8. His low handicap was a 1.1. Let's put things in perspective. If I have the right Adam Freeman, there are two in the state of Missouri. Our dear Adam currently sits at a 9.3. And your boy, your hero, Kenny, sits at a 24. So the question was, could an amateur break 100 at Augusta? Now, I know I can't. I think Adam can't. Chris, who's basically a scratch golfer, do you think you could break 100 at Augusta?
From the tees they play?
Sure.
No chance.
Look at
Absolutely.
it. And humble, too.
Absolutely none. There is no chance. I'd be lucky to break 110.
Wow.
That's what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking,
yeah, the greens are too fast, and these courses, Augusta is not long to them, but it's long to us. You know, I carry it with a driver, maybe 265, 270, and I have one shot with a driver, and it's a fade, and I'm a lefty, so right to left, and yeah, that might work on hole 10, but you know, when you only hit a 270, I still have 210 into there with a green that slopes right to left. Like there is absolutely no chance. On 18 when you got, yeah, well, yeah, they can.
18 would be hilarious with a lefty fade.
Yeah, like you'd have to hit a draw in there. I'd be hitting a 5-iron, laying up with a 7-iron, then chipping up there.
Yeah,
it'd be if you play from the white tees, I think, or whatever their member tees are.
Yeah,
there's a better chance, but I'd still say no. But no, most amateurs, I would say 90% of amateurs, if they play from the Sunday tees with those Sunday pins, breaking 100 would be amazing.
I think I would be 5 bones if I hit 110. Like, I think I can't imagine. I can't imagine those greens. That's the part that struggles with me. Like, I think I could find a way to just like 200 to 200 every single hole. Like, I'm just going to nice and easy, put it out there, keep going straight, 7-iron, 5-iron, and be happy. Like, let's go with that and just see what happens. But even then, you're probably still hovering in the, I mean, you're still having to putt. You're still, average of 3 putts. I'm not doing math live on the air. We all know how that goes. And then you got 2 shots for every. I mean, you're averaging at least a 6 or a 7 on every hole at best from 7,600 yards. Like, that's a long, long course. And the average courses that we play are 62,
So for the math, you want a 3-putt every hole. That's 54 strokes. So to break 100, you'd have to get green regulation on everything, theoretically.
Right. And that's I think a normal amateur, let's say you're shooting, a mid-teen handicap, because I think that's the average male handicap right now. I mean, you're shooting 120. I'd almost guarantee that.
Yeah. I got a question. Adam, what hole out there do you think you could par with, not ease, but which, if you played it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which one do you think you could par once, and which hole do you think you could birdie?
I'm not birdieing any par 3.
16 with the funnel pin?
No, I'm not Not the putting. I mean, that's the killer.
Yeah, you thought Scheffler's putting was bad.
Yeah, it's rough. I think with my fade, 18 is my best opportunity for a birdie. I think because I think to clear the trees, you're somewhere in the, I think it's like 230, 240 to get around that corner, and I think 4 shots at it, I could clear that corner and then have, I think it's like 180 in uphill, so it's probably playing 200 in. I probably hit a 5 iron. I think you give me 4 chances, I could probably have a really good shot at birdie on 18. The hole that I know that I would par, and this sounds stupid because I just said 18, I think I could birdie. God damn. 10 maybe. No, 10's fairway would be a bitch. 13, because that's
3.
3 maybe.
3 is
That's short par 4.
Yeah.
That's Flowering Peach. I'm looking at the distances right now. Par 4, 350 yards.
But that's the one that the green sits uphill on the right, doesn't it? Or no, that's down on the left.
Well, the Sunday pin's down on the left,
Yeah.
And you're gonna have like a 3-foot breaker. But I think Thursday they put it back on that top shelf in the back right, so it's more gettable.
17 would be an interesting one. 17's pretty straight away.
Fun fact, Flowering Peach has been changed less than any other hole on the course because Bobby Jones thought it was, and I quote, perfect.
The more you know.
All right, Chris, what about you? Lefty.
Oh man, what is it? The par 5 13th?
Yeah.
Just because I hit a fade, I think I could par that one.
Go around the corner.
Yeah, it's hard. From the new tees when they backed it up 50 yards, I was going to say I could, if you gave me 4 chances, I thought I could birdie it once, but with the new tee, I think getting around the corner is a pipe dream. So then it's a layup, and then you got to hit the chip over Rays Creek, and I'd just be shaking like a leaf. So
Right.
that wouldn't happen anymore. I have to go with 3. If I think I could birdie or par a hole, it sounds stupid, but I think that one is one I think I could birdie and par. Just because 350, even though it's an elevated green, if the pin's in the right spot, I mean, you just gotta, that fairway is super wide, and your miss is left anyway. So with my fade, I can miss left and then just hit one up onto the green and maybe get lucky and lip one in.
I think 3's a good goal.
That's pure luck.
So 14 is Chinese Fur, par 4, 440 yards. I mean, it looks like it's pretty open fairway wise. The average, historic average is a 4. Low year was a 3. I mean, man, that one looks gettable. And I'm just thinking about, for me personally at this point, I'm not a long hitter off the tee, but I feel like that approach shot would give me a better distance, something that I would feel comfortable with. Like, so 440, let's say it goes 260 on a good day. I'm talking 100 and shit. Somebody do the math for me, except for Adam.
I was going to say
170.
Yeah, 170 in. So I'm talking about my 6 iron. Like I feel really confident in that club. So that probably that and Flowering Peach, number 3. So that would be me personally. I'm not birdieing shit though.
We can all agree that we all have no shot at 15, right?
No. 15 would be, that's one that I would probably crap my pants on. Like, especially because I know me, like I'm not going to sit there on the top of that hill and be like, I'm just going to lay up. I'll see you guys at the bottom of the hill. I'm going to be pulling out a hybrid and trying to smoke it over the green and hope, or it's over the water and hope I stick on the green and go from there. But yeah, that would be the one that would terrify me most. 13, I think I just hit it over the green and be fine.
Is it hole 5, the long par 4 with all the big bunkers down to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, like, if you have an amateur playing that course, and whether it's a righty or a lefty, a
You're
righty
in the
plays a
bunker.
draw, a lefty plays a fade. If you're in the bunker or down there with how diabolical that green is, you're
Yeah.
taking a 10.
All right, guys. Well, that'll probably just about do it for us. Chris, thank you for joining us. And for anyone who wants to track along with everything that we think about the Masters, check us out on Twitter at PodRideThePine, on Instagram at pod_RideThePine. Watch this on YouTube at Ride the Pine Podcast, Apple, Spotify. Go listen to it if you just want to listen to the podcast. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, give us a review.
Let us know what you thought of our Masters dinners. Tell us who you think is going to win. Give us your long shot. What hole could you birdie at Augusta? And don't forget to get Raising Cane's on the way home. So, all right, guys, let's call
Thanks
it.
for having me.
And thank you, Chris, for sitting in with us. And we'll see everybody next week. Have a good night.
Thank you.